The single birthday candle flickered dangerously on top of a piece of stale bread as Margaret, my 75-year-old foster mother, sat alone at her kitchen table. Her arthritic hands shook as she took a photo, typing with one finger. Another year blessed. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m. I stared at my phone screen in horror from my penthouse suite, where wedding planners buzzed around me like expensive bees. Tomorrow was supposed to be my $1 million wedding to tech billionaire Jonathan Hayes. But seeing Margaret's lonely celebration while my biological family partied at my bachelor party without inviting her changed everything. My name is Marcus Chen. I'm 32, a tech entrepreneur worth $50 million. And this is how I turned a forgotten woman's birthday into the most spectacular revenge my ungrateful family never saw coming. Margaret had found me at 8 years old, abandoned at a gas station by my drug-addicted parents. While other kids got returned to the system, she kept me. She wasn't wealthy, a retired teacher living on pension, but she gave me everything. Piano lessons paid for with grocery money. College tuition funded by selling her deceased husband's vintage car collection. She attended every graduation, every business milestone, every success I achieved. She was my real mother in every way that mattered. But my biological family had other plans. When I became successful, my birth parents suddenly reappeared, along with 3 siblings I'd never known existed. They embraced my wealth enthusiastically while treating Margaret like an embarrassing relic. My biological mother, Patricia, actually suggested I transition away from that phase of your life at my engagement party. My siblings, David, Jennifer, and Michael, openly mocked Margaret's outdated clothes and simple gifts at family gatherings. Foster relationships aren't real family, Patricia had said coldly. It's time you understood that. I'd been weak, caught between 2 worlds, trying to please everyone. Until that stale bread birthday photo changed everything. At 6 a.m. on my wedding day, I called Margaret. Her voice was tired but hopeful. Marcus, honey, I know you're busy with the wedding, but I wanted to wish you. Cancel everything you have planned today, I interrupted. We're going shopping. Within hours, I'd whisked Margaret to the most exclusive salon in the city. Professional stylists transformed her gray hair into an elegant silver updo. A personal shopper fitted her in a stunning emerald gown that cost more than her annual pension. Diamond earrings sparkled against her wrinkled neck. When she saw herself in the mirror, tears rolled down her cheeks. Marcus, what is this for? Justice, I replied simply. Meanwhile, 400 wedding guests, including my biological family, gathered at the Grand Cathedral. My bride, Sophia, stood at the altar in her $80,000 dress, confusion growing as minutes ticked by. The string quartet played the same song 3 times. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Then the cathedral doors burst open. I entered with Margaret on my arm, both of us dressed in formal attire but clearly not for a wedding. Behind us came photographers, journalists, and camera crews. The guests gasped as we walked down the aisle. Not toward the altar, but to a microphone I'd had secretly installed. Ladies and gentlemen, I announced, my voice echoing through the stunned cathedral. You came here expecting a wedding. Instead, you're getting something far more important, the truth. Sophia's face went white. My biological family sat frozen in their expensive suits. Margaret looked up at me with trust and confusion. 75 years ago, a woman was born who would dedicate her life to saving broken children. 3 days ago, that same woman ate stale bread alone for her birthday while the family she sacrificed everything for partied without her. Today, I'm here to introduce you to the most important person in my life. My real mother, Margaret Chen. The massive cathedral screen lit up with a presentation I'd prepared. Photos of Margaret working 3 jobs to support me. Videos of her at my graduations while my biological family was nowhere to be found. Documentation of every sacrifice, every kindness, every moment of unconditional love. Then came the financial records. Every dollar she'd spent on my education, every possession she'd sold for my future. The total was staggering. Over $300,000 from a woman who never earned more than $35,000 a year. My biological family, I continued, gesturing to their horrified faces, told me foster relationships aren't real. They suggested I transition away from the woman who saved my life. So today, I'm making that transition official. I pulled out legal documents. I'm officially changing my name to Margaret Chen. I'm establishing the Margaret Chen Foundation with $10 million to support foster families. And I'm transferring ownership of my birth family's inheritance. Yes, the trust fund I've been secretly funding, to Margaret's retirement fund. The cathedral erupted in chaos. Patricia screamed accusations. My siblings rushed toward the stage. Sophia threw her bouquet and stormed out. But Margaret stood steady beside me, finally understanding. "Marcus," she whispered, "you didn't have to." "Yes, I did," I said into the microphone for everyone to hear. Because real family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up when the candles are burning down to nothing. The aftermath was nuclear. My biological family tried everything. Lawyers, guilt trips, social media campaigns painting me as ungrateful. But the story had captured public attention. Margaret's gracious interviews, where she spoke about forgiveness while maintaining dignity, made her a beloved figure. The Foster Care Foundation became a national movement. Sophia and I never married, but 6 months later, I met Elena at a charity event for foster children. She was a social worker who immediately loved Margaret like her own grandmother. Our wedding was simple. Just 50 people who actually mattered, with Margaret walking me down the aisle. My biological family still sends cards on holidays, hoping to rebuild bridges to my bank account. But Margaret taught me the most valuable lesson of all. You can't buy love, but you can absolutely put a price on loyalty. 2 years later, Margaret celebrated her 77th birthday surrounded by 200 people. Foster children she'd helped, families our foundation had supported, and genuine friends who loved her for who she was, not what she could provide. The cake was professionally made, 3 tiers tall, with 77 real candles that burned bright and strong. As she blew them out, she whispered her wish loud enough for everyone to hear. That every forgotten person finds someone who remembers them. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't hurting those who wronged you. It's showing the world what real love looks like while they watch from the sidelines, knowing they'll never be part of something that beautiful again.